Daniel Craig used one in Casino Royale.
Second is...
Javier Bardem used one in No Country for Old Men. A gun silencer. Shooting enthusiasts call it a suppressor. It's an assassin's must-have in movies.
For most people, even gun owners in this country, the only time that they've actually seen a suppressor is in film, through Hollywood.
In real life, it's a heavily regulated gun accessory that Knox Williams says makes shooting safer.
These things reduce the noise of a gunshot. They bring the noise down to safer levels from a hearing conservation perspective.
Williams is president and CEO of the American Suppressors Association, an advocacy group working to make suppressors easier to buy.
We've got a campaign called No State Left Behind, where we're going through and trying to legalize it so that suppressors can be legal for ownership and for hunting in all 50 states.
Now his fight has reached Congress. Representatives Jeff Duncan of South Carolina and John Carter of Texas have introduced what they call the Hearing Protection Act. The goal is to lift the provisions of the National Firearms Act of 1934 placed on the suppressor, a $200 tax and a background check that gun shop owners say could last a year. Gun control advocates say the bill is about militarizing weapons, not about hearing.
It's a complete misunderstanding of the noise levels that unsuppressed firearms have, the risk that both recreational shooters and hunters have to things like tinnitus, which is ringing in your ears, and noise-induced hearing loss as a result of exposure to loud noises.
Opponents say suppressors will allow mass shooters to kill stealthily. To demonstrate the noise reduction, Williams fired rounds from several guns with and without a suppressor. First up, a 9mm without the suppressor. And now with the suppressor. The AR-15 without the suppressor. And now with it. A noticeable difference, but nothing as dramatic as Leonardo DiCaprio's muted rounds in Inception. The 2015 bill failed to change suppressor laws, but Williams and gun rights advocates are optimistic this session. Why?
Second Amendment, 100%. Remember it.
Donald Trump won the presidency.
If we can get the Hearing Protection Act to his desk, we believe that he will sign it. That wasn't the case under the Obama administration.
Donald Trump Jr. told a suppressor manufacturer as much during the campaign.
We want to go through Congress, we want to do it the right way, but if you line up those votes, he's obviously going to be for it. I mean, it wouldn't make sense otherwise. It's about safety. It's about hearing protection. It's a health issue, frankly, for me. Getting little kids into the game, it's greatly reduces recoil. I mean, it's just a great instrument. There's nothing bad about it at all.
The bill is just days old, and members of Congress are now taking sides, gearing up for what could be the next big gun battle on Capitol Hill. So you heard there from the proponents of this bill. I spoke earlier with an opponent, the opposition, Ladd Everett, who's the director of One Pulse for America. He says this is not about health, it's about money.
I have yet to see any actual evidence of a public health problem, any actual research into hearing problems with gun owners. But last I checked, earplugs are still readily available. Ear muffs are still readily available at shooting ranges. There are a whole range of products to help with noise suppression for shooters. The problem with silencers, particularly in a recreational shooting situation like, let's say, hunting, is you want people in the vicinity of gunfire to be able to hear the report of a firearm. That in itself is a key safety element, because if there are people around you when you're hunting, let's say, you might not be aware of their presence. The report of gunfire allows them either to identify themselves to you or to move safely out of that area if necessary. That's just common sense.